Hello, welcome to the course on DCCN, that is Data Communication and Computer Network. So today we will be discussing one of the important application layer product, namely DNS. So this DNS helps us in resolving name to IP conversion. So these are some application layer protocols which we were discussing in last class. File transfer protocol, email, remote login, network management, and name resolution protocols, which is DNS. These are some application layer examples already shown in last class: domain name system, file transfer protocol, hypertext transfer protocol, simple mail transfer protocol, etc. So today we will discuss on domain name system or DNS. So what is DNS? It is a sort of a global database for internet addressing, mail and other information. Why we require this? Now you see, whenever we want to communicate one packet or one data packet from one to another, what we require? We require primarily the IP address of a destination. So especially when we do internet networking, the IP address is one of the destination what we require. Now remembering, IP address is the tedious job. If you want to open EC Ajmer, then you write www.ecajmer.ac.in, and instead of this, if I say that you remember the IP address of EC Ajmer as 203.16.this and so on, this is very tedious to remember. So in other sense, whether I can have some naming convention, so that means some names which in turn can be resolved to IP. Now on the other hand, if you see the routers which can open up to or look up to network layer or IP, they don't understand the names. So router should be given data in form of IP only. So I require somebody who can convert this name to IP. That is the exactly job of the primary job of the DNS. So what is the concept of domains and subdomains? Domain management is distributed. So there are some of top level domains, or what we can say them TLDs, like com, org, net and so on. Typically these top level domains are 3 character length, and there are few country domains. There are rather for every country there is a country domain which are 2 character length, like IN for India, US for United States of America, and CA for Canada and so on. So these are what we say top level domains, or so TLDs. Now this is a domain namespace diagram. If we look to see the domain namespace is something like that, like this diagram. We have some of the top level domains like erpa.com, edu, org and so on. And under that we have subdomains like suppose IN for India. Under India we can have AC. Under AC we can have EC Ajmer, and under EC Ajmer we can have CAC department or something like that. So there is the overall domain name space. This is a tree-like structure. This is another diagram which can show domain names and labels. Here we are taking an example of challenger.atc.fhda.edu. Now what is this? This is the TLD, is the root domain. So what we have say, if this is a typical example of say Challenger, so this is the overall domain name. If we go on this hierarchy, so the next level is the one, next level is from here is this is the next level, again this FHDA level, then EDU level, then root domain. So this is another diagram for domains. If we look at these domains, so this is a domain, this is a domain, again this is a domain, Now this is also a domain. So this .com is the responsibility of the thing, and if it is having another intermediate thing, then it has to go for other domains to look at, and so on. So every domain server or the DNS server have some records that is called resource record. So what are the resources it is having? It has, or it has some sort of a control authority of the domain. It can have subdomains. It delegate that thing to things, right, and go so and so. Similarly here also in the edu case, for example, if I take example ecajmer.ac.in, suppose we are taking csc.ecajmer.ac.in. so in ecajmer csc, like this is the top level domain, country domain, so we are taking in for India. Above this is the root domain which is dot. So domain names are arranged in a hierarchical tree like structure. So see, I can have multiple CSE at some level. For example, we can have for Bikaner College CSE department, for Jhalawad College CSE department. So all these CSE department are at same level, but the overall thing will not disturb, right? Not disturb. So individually, EC Ajmer only if you look at the CSE, so that may clash, right? Every college or every IIT has a CSE department and their domain names have CSE, and it will clash. But that is partially qualified or partially defined. But if I have fully qualified name like csc.ecajmer.ac.in, then this will never will be duplicated. So that means I can uniquely define that thing and uniquely define that IP address of that thing. So what we have said, like partially qualified and fully qualified. Now what is fully qualified domain names? If a domain name ends in a dot, it is assumed to be complete. This is called a fully qualified domain name or an absolute domain name. If a domain name doesn't end in a dot, it is incomplete, and the DNS resolver may complete this by appending a suffix to the domain name. The rules for doing this are implementation dependent and locally configurable. So DNS server can make it fully qualified before going to the other things. Now next is our country domains. As we have said that each country domain have 2 characters to define the country. So there is a concept of country domain. Top level domains named for each of the ISO 3166 international 2-character country codes. So that everybody has a thing like AE for United Arabs, IN for India, AU for Australia, and so on. So it is country specific. Many countries have their own second level domain underneath the parallel generic domain name, like we have AC under IN. So many countries have their own second level domain underneath this generic top level domain. So thank you. This is all about DNS. In next class we will discuss next application layer protocol.